And with that, a journey of 10 long years comes to an end. What's up, guys? I'm Hunter here, and here we're going to do a breakdown/review for chapter 430, the final chapter of My Hero Academia, which is known as My Hero Academia. Man, it's been a long time coming, y'all. It's been a long time coming. And simultaneously, it feels like it hasn't been that long at all. But such is life, right? It's always full of ups, downs, goods, bads, new endings, and new beginnings. But let's finally talk about the end. The end of a story that's impacted many people's lives, myself included. Let's not waste any more time, and let's hop right into it. Editing me, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do happen to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. And another fun fact, I feel old. If you're like me, or as old as I am, you may remember when My Hero Academia first came out. You may remember when this was a baby. You may remember seeing chapter 1. And if you're slightly younger, you may remember seeing episode 1. It's really been 10 years. I don't know, like, it still feels so surreal. It doesn't feel real knowing that My Hero Academia is finally over. And trust me, I still have my endless critiques with the series. I'm going to go through and do a arc by arc, bit by bit, piece by piece retrospective on the entire narrative. And talk about how I feel about it more in depth. This review may actually end up being like invalidated after a reread or something based on what I have to say. But even then, I don't really have any critiques for this chapter. I have like one minor critique that we're going to get into, but since we have to get into it, let's not waste any more time. My Hero Academia's final chapter, My Hero Academia. We see that Midoriya ultimately, I don't want to say he's forgotten, but he's a lot smaller than you would expect, right? And this is for a couple reasons. Obviously, the first thing is that he did lose One for All. He is now quirkless, and thusly, he's nowhere near the man he used to be. And don't you fall. Don't you do it. You stay up there. It's coming down. You can't beguile me. I know the truth. Gosh, darn it. I wanted you to stay up. I wanted you to fight. But you did not fight. You gave up. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Peep the shirt. I literally have no idea where I got it from. But the thing with that, it's really, because, and that's the thing. This whole chapter, just like the back third of the manga for me, feels very bittersweet. Because it does make sense to some degree that Midoriya could not be a hero, right? Quirkless. And the whole point of the narrative is that if you're quirkless, you're booty meat, you're fodder, you're irrelevant. And it's sad to see, but it does make sense. And I do think it adds to the bittersweet layer of this chapter. But another thing that feels somewhat underwhelming is that it feels like no one cared about what Midoriya did. Like, as wrong as I think he was in his methods, and as foolish as I think he is, to this day, once again, maybe after a reread I'll feel differently, but like, I still think Midoriya's kind of stupid for doing what he did with Shigaraki and giving it One for All. But with that being the case, no one cared. No one seems to care. This chapter is sprinkled with beautiful references to how other people are feeling about other things. But outside of one character in this chapter, who's meant to be a direct parallel to Midoriya, and thusly it makes sense that he would be a more, I know everything about all heroes, past and present, just like Midoriya was. No one really acknowledges Midoriya, or Deku, as the guy who saved the world. And once again, it feels wrong, but that's the one thing about My Hero Academia. It's always, at least in how it's portrayed society for the most part, it's always been the most accurate part. And I think the emptiness that's left with Midoriya, just being reduced down to a teacher at UA, a quirkless teacher with nothing to show for it. It's sad, but it's accurate. And with that being the case, we see Koda grown up. We see the boy who was locked away in his basement grown up with Koda. Very, very sweet. They're all going. And we see how everyone's lives, to some degree, have shifted. They've changed. It's over. It's been a long, long, long time. And thus a lot of things happened. A lot of things happened off screen. A lot of resolutions, a lot of new problems, a lot of old problems getting fixed. And the loss of many things. The loss of childhood, the loss of innocence, the loss of power. Izuku Midoriya burned away the last of the embers. And it's a tragedy in a sense because he's left so alone. Everyone else could not wait for him. And it makes sense, of course. They're all their own people with their own individual lives. I wouldn't expect any of them to wait for Midoriya. Or help him in any way, shape, or form. And they do. Don't get me wrong. They're going to help him later. But it just feels so... And that's what the ending's for. That's the thing about this chapter. I think Hori meant for it to feel wrong throughout the entire first chunk of it. Like, he meant for this feeling of pervading emptiness to be purposeful. And we even see, once again, like I mentioned, Midoriya's being mirrored a lot by another child, a child who wants to be a hero. And we get updates on a lot of pivotal characters. Some pivotal, some not so pivotal. We get where Hatsume is. She's running her own company now. That doctor guy, the Yoshi dude, I guess he's his inspiration to some kids. La Brava and Gentle got married. They got married, and they got their own company. They're famous programming people. Oh. I'm sorry. I think... next to Daddy Dever, because I still love Daddy Dever, and Daddy Dever barely makes an appearance. I think Daddy Dever's only appearance is... Where is it? It's right here. This is Daddy Dever's only appearance in the entire chapter. But it makes sense. He retired. There's not much he can do, especially after an 8-year time skip. But speaking of, it's the 8-year time skip, and characters have evolved, characters have progressed, but the society calls me. No, it's not. But society has shifted to, ironically enough, double down on preconceived notions that existed before. You really can't be a hero without a quirk. In fact, you are going to struggle to be a hero even if you do have a quirk because of how much the world has changed. Villains have gone down. Hero amounts have gone back up. Everything is balanced out. Only the strong survive. It's a biological meritocracy system, essentially. Did you win the genetic lottery? Yes? Okay, you'll be a good guy. We're going to send you to UA and you're going to be a great hero. Did you lose it? Oh, womp womp, should have had better parents, broski. And Dai is a child experiencing that, and experiencing the emptiness that comes with not really being able to identify and fit. I don't remember Dai previously, at all, but he was there. These are flashback panels. And we see he ultimately goes to the All Might statue just to think and reflect. And ultimately realize that he's the one who hasn't given up on his childish dream in spite of his weak quirk. And we see multiple other things. We see Shoji being praised for being a spokesperson for polymorph. I forget what it's called. Not xenomorph, but Remarkable's feats ever since his debut. Prejudice-based incidents. Yep. So he ended up getting more and more recognition for that. He really doubled down. Spinner ended up really guiding this man down to a path of understanding and the need for connection. We see that the 4-man squad of Ochako, Asui, Tenya, and Yaoyorozu is a thing that's now a thing. I don't know. I get Uraraka with Asui and Ida. But not... Momo being there just felt so weird. And I'll admit, if there's one critique I do have to have, despite it being an 8-year time skip, it feels like some of these characters have barely aged. I don't know. I can just think of myself 8 years ago. And I would say I still changed a lot, appearance-wise. But... None of these, they all kind of look the same. Except for the characters who had major jumps, such as Eri. And Eri, man... I'm happy that she's happy, dog. Once again, I definitely have been critical of a role in the narrative as basically a walking, talking plot device, but I'll definitely take it. And ultimately, we see Bakugo keep sabotaging his own chances by being mean and angry, as Bakugo would, And we find out that Mirio's the top hero. Kamui Woods and Midnight, not Midnight, because Midnight's gone. But Kamui Woods and Mount Lady are out there cooking it up, trying to catch up to Mirio. Bago keeps knocking himself down while Todoroki keeps riding his thing up. But once again, while all this sounds nice and all this is good, there's been a nagging emptiness in Midoriya's heart. Even though he understands that he can be a hero too, and is a hero even without the power, he still craves for the connection that he lost, the connection that he gave up. And ultimately he wants that power and connection back so he can still be a hero in the more traditional sense, rather than just being a teacher or a desk worker. And we see that Midoriya ultimately does converge with Dai at the statue. They both move to catch a kid, but of course, Midoriya actually does save. And we see Dai ultimately explain that, yeah, I don't know. My quirk sucks. I suck. I can't really be a hero like the two of you. Like All Might and the Great Deku. Can I really? And Midoriya simply smiles. Seeing a young lad that had the exact same problem as him, Midoriya smiles and runs it down for him. And promises that he can be a hero too. The continuation of the cycle through positivity rather than negativity is poignant within My Hero Academia. And this, there's no better example than this. Izuku Midoriya doing the best thing in his ability to comfort somebody with the hope of futurehood. However, one thing I will admit, and it's weird, I'm trying to stay positive for Midoriya in this review and slightly neutral. I'm going to go a little bit negative. The one major issue that I think comes with this whole idea is the whole idea that you could be a hero regardless of your abilities. You can be a hero in like the legitimate way. You can do it. Because that's all Aizawa does. His special eyes don't give him any extra perks other than shutting off quirks, which is still a big still a big perk, but still, I don't know, it feels like Midoriya being reduced down to this is painful. And not in the good writing way that something should be painful, like insert character execution here, but no, just painful. And the pain obviously does get reconciled by the end. As we see All Might breaks through the fourth wall, grabs the My Hero Academia, and Cap pulls out a suit and says that Midoriya's earned this power as well. And we end with My Hero Academia. All of our cast and crew, all of 1A, Shinso included and Ayama included both in this image, all get a happy ending. And it's nice. It's very, very nice, and I do like it. But it rings a tad hollow, I will admit. Something about it just, it does not sit right with me perfectly, so I'm going to give the chapter a 9 out of 10. Also because the character designs just don't feel like different, but still a 9 out of 10 overall. It's still a really, really good chapter. It wraps up one of my favorite series of the modern day, and I'm excited to see what Hori does next. But first things first, take a break. Go to bed. Go to bed, Hori. Go to bed. I'm sick of that. Go to bed. But with that being the case, I hope you guys enjoyed this rather short review. Once again, like I said, I'm probably going to do a more in-depth discussion on My Hero Academia as a whole, which will include a retroactive look back at this chapter. So I want to save a lot of my thoughts on certain aspects for then. But I hope you guys enjoyed the review. If you want to check out the live reaction for this chapter, which is actually like 8 minutes longer, it's a 21-minute live reaction, is linked down below on the Patreon. But I'd like to thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do happen to have a Patreon below where you can support me for as low as $1 a month. Things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. So those perks will include the live reaction to this very chapter, ad-free reactions of all my videos, and if you become a $25 Patreon and $25 member, you can order whatever video you want. Also do have a link to my Ko-Fi in the description down below where you can drop 5 beans for a short video, 20 beans for a long video, or any beans at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now, thank you so much for watching. Once again, if you get all the way to the end of this video, please leave Academia My Hero. Leave Academia My Hero in the comment section down below. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching. Once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Dabi the Pencil, writing off.
I'd like to thank you to our $3 members, Zena, Greyhound, Astro, Eternal Flame, NMA, Real Rare, G Prosper, Red Wolf 4765, and Paris Arnold. I'd like to give another big ol' thank you to our $5 patrons, Sean, Sammy, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin Encarnacion, Josh Brown, and A+A. And I'd like to give a great big thank you to our $7 members, Autumn Mornings Lazo, Fine, and That Guy. And I'd like to give a great big thank you to our $10 members, Robbie Uchiha, Jay Warrior, and Akid's Void. And I'd like to give big, hefty, juicy thank yous to our $10 patrons, Panda Goat, Michael Williamson, Metal Solid Crisis, Joaquin Munoz, and Idemo Kami. And I'd like to give the biggest, juiciest, meatiest, sloppiest, and heftiest thank you of them all to our $25 patron, Calvin Elder.